with free agent signing and a couple of good moves there, and some interesting moves in the draft. A lot of Packer fans have high hopes at this point in the season. That's the topic for this video, so stick around. This video is brought to you by Packer Fan Cave. Everything you need to turn your man cave into a Packer Fan Cave. You can check them out at packerfancave.net. There is a link in the description below this video. So this draft is up, and in the first round, some people were pretty excited about picking up Gary, and then trading up to pick up Savage. Definitely both interesting moves. Gary's draft stock kind of plummeted throughout the process of the the draft process, I guess, and so that a lot of people were kind of interested in that pick. A little questionable on how is he going to be health wise, but definitely somebody who early on in the process was in the top five in a lot of mock drafts, and kind of fell throughout the process. Savage also was, trading up to get him, I think was a brilliant move. Here to discuss this with me is my good friend and lifelong Packer fan, Mark Padriana. Mark, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
All right.
Exciting time. I love the draft.
Yeah. So how did you feel when you first heard him pick Gary?
I was obviously he's a big name, and like you said, his name came up a lot during the combine and the whole scouting process, and we didn't find out until draft day that he had been flagged for the shoulder injury, but he says it's healthy, and the Packers obviously were confident enough that it's healthy, and I think it was a bold pick. I think there was a couple guys on the board that played similar positions that maybe were less of a question health wise, but obviously the Packers really liked him. The guy's talented. He was the number one player coming out of high school when he went into college, and some of the numbers weren't what people maybe thought, but some of the scouts are saying that he's just a play wrecker, a guy that comes in and just blows things up, and if somebody else is getting the glory at the end of that, that's okay, as long as we're
Yeah.
making plays on defense at the end of the day. So I'm excited, and hopefully he's healthy and he can see the field this year right away because he looks pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I personally was a little disappointed right away when the pick was made. Because like you said, there were a couple other guys that were right there, and maybe not quite as questionable. But the more I've had time to think about it and look at, I definitely feel better about it now than I did then. I think, you know, he's either gold or dirt. You know what I'm saying? Either gold or dirt. He's either going to be a phenomenal player or he's going to be hurt too much.
Yeah,
And I guess we're just hoping for the phenomenal player aspect. And I guess at the same time, it's not like we're hurting for edge rusher after what we did in the free agency. So, even if he doesn't pan out, if he's a bust, then at least we're not hurting, and I think that's what, when you look at the pick of Savage, we don't really have anybody else to play that free safety spot. Adrian Amos is going to be awesome as a strong safety, and I think, if we can get Savage to play the way we want him to, and him to stay healthy, I think that's going to be a pretty amazing combination back there. Uh, Especially playing the Bears week one, and Adrian Amos is gonna just hope to play his absolute best career game that day.
yeah. I love this pick. I love the Darnell Savage pick, safety out of Maryland. Um, we talked a few months ago after the free agency ended and they signed Amos, and that was one of my favorite free agent signings. I don't know statistic wise, he's not going to blow you away, but I think the guy is a real leader and he's a strong safety. He's a guy that's going to play more near the line of scrimmage. He's going to be in a lot of tackles. He's going to be directing the defense. that's why I love this pick of Savage, where he's the absolute opposite of what you brought in with Amos in terms of a safety. He's more of a free safety. He's a ball hawk. He's a guy who's looking for the ball and he's making plays deep downfield. So I think they're going to complement each other. Like you said, there's not as much depth in the safety position as there is. Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying
Right.
this as a Packer fan, but there's actually depth at outside rush position. So takes a little bit of pressure off Gary there, and hopefully he's
Yep.
healthy. But yeah, I love this Savage pick, and I think this guy's going to see the field right away. And fingers crossed. I think this kid might be pretty exciting back there.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like you said, the way they're going to complement each other, I think you know, we're looking at a situation where they can really confuse some quarterbacks that like to throw the ball deep. And that's what we've been missing on the Packers defense for a long time. Teams haven't been scared to throw the ball deep against the Packers for a number of years now. Uh, haha, Clinton Dix kind of stepped in there, and I thought he was a solid player for the time that he was here. Obviously, he's not here anymore.
But
So,
he had to be both of those guys. He had to be both
right,
free and strong safety, and he never had that complement back there.
right,
And I think that's why I love these two picks, and I think they're gonna complement each other
yeah,
well.
yeah. No, I agree, and I think just our whole defense, I feel so much more confident with our edge rusher situation, like we talked about. Bringing in the two Smiths, and bringing in those two early rookies, and we still have Mike Daniels on the offensive line, who I think if we use him right, he's gonna be one of the best bull rushers in football. You know what I mean? I think uh, I kind of feel like he just hasn't been used right for a couple of years again, and I think Pettin's defense this year is going to look a lot different than what anybody's expecting, and I expect them to be you know at least top 10 defense this year, if not better.
Absolutely, I think yeah, Mike Daniels and Kenny Clark are gonna benefit greatly from having linebackers that are putting
Right,
pressure on the quarterback, and I think you can't. Yeah, Mike Daniels hasn't had the numbers the last 2 years because he's getting blocked by two and three guys. And if you have multiple guys now that are young and fast and can put pressure on the quarterback, it's going to make everybody's job easier. And same with those guys in the secondary. If they only have to cover for so long because
yeah,
we're getting to the quarterback, that's what's really exciting about this defense. And I don't think Pettin has to necessarily take as many gambles blitzing, but when we do blitz, I think it's going to be more effective now. I'm really excited to see this defense. There's a lot of new talent back there, and
yeah,
I agree. I'm looking at a top 10 defense. I think.
yeah, and like they could even go better than top 10. you know John thinks they're going to go in the top 5 this year, and that's entirely up to them at this point. How hard are they going to work? This year it's strange with an Aaron Rodgers led offense, but I'm saying this year I think the question is going to be on the offense, more so than the defense. And I think top down we've got good people in the starter positions, but I think we're low on depth on the offensive side of the ball. Uh, I know a lot of people are high up on the rookies, the Marquez Valdez Scantling, not rookies anymore. They're sophomores now.
Sophomores now.
But and I make the mistake and call them rookies because I didn't see much out of them last year to really think they were on the team much. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't do a lot to bring in new weapons to as everybody at least national wise was expecting them to do, to bring in guys to help Aaron. He's in the later years of his career, his window's closing, so to speak. But I think yeah, they seem to be very confident in what they have, and I'm with you. I'm a little more skeptical in terms of the our second year guys. Hopefully, with this new system, we can, and then a year under their belt, we can find better ways to use them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get a more productive year out of Jimmy Graham. They did
Yep.
in as far as the draft, they did bring in tight end Jay Sternberger out of Texas A&M in the third round. I think he'll see some time this year on the field, but I think he'll kind of rival or challenge Mercedes Lewis for the backup position. But we'll see what happens there. My only concern with what Gutekunst has done in the entire offseason, and I think he's had a really, really good one. My only question would be, a slot receiver, somebody not necessarily to replace Randall Cobb, but somebody to go inside that we have a lot of big receivers, and Devontae Adams is a big guy, and um, Valdez Scantling and Brown, they're both good big receivers too. I wish that we had somebody who was a little bit quicker and ran a little more inside routes, especially with what this new offense is supposed to look like. But all in all, I think he's done a really good job, and hopefully Lafluer has got some wrinkles in this offense that
Yeah.
makes guys look a lot better than they did last year. And I think
Yeah.
we talked about this before. I think Aaron's hungry, and I think he's
Yep.
healthy again, and I think he's going to have a big year.
Yeah. And that's the ace in the hole there is you talk about bringing in a new coach. You know, we can talk about depth and we can talk about, are the guys better than they were last year, but when you look at how how can you play in a system where all your opponents know what you're going to do?
Hmm.
And with Mike McCarthy, it just got stale, and it was like everybody knew what we were going to do. You know, kind of like on Waterboy when he's sitting across the field and he's got football for dummies. And all the respect to Mike McCarthy, he was a great coach for a good period of time there. Uh, but it did get stale, and maybe this year having somebody new in there, we will see better out of our second year receivers. Maybe that was a part of it. Maybe McCarthy didn't draw plays that included their skill sets. And maybe that's what I'm looking at is I didn't see their skill set because McCarthy didn't include it.
Yeah.
That's a definite possibility. Uh, I really am not even sure what to expect this year out of the offense with a whole new coach, a whole new system. You know, they do have the little extra time getting in because of the new head coach, which is nice to know that they're practicing already, and uh, just really wishing that the time, I wish it would start tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think we know, and I don't think they know what it's going to look like just yet. I think they're only giving the players a handful of new plays to learn. But it's all I know is going to look completely different. Like you said, it was the same offense for more than a decade there, and it got a little bit stale. And if this new offense is any sort of representation of what it's supposed to look like, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to look a
Yeah.
lot different than what we've seen in the past. And I think you're right. I think it's an opportunity to kind of showcase the skills of some of the guys that we brought in, and they've looked at the roster and they're confident in these guys. So let's see what they got, and let's get out there and hit the field. You're right. I'm ready. I wish it was
Yeah.
tomorrow too, but
But
still a long off season here,
definitely
and they
good
need
that
it.
it's not tomorrow because they do need it. They do
They need the
need
time.
to learn the new playbook and learn the new
Absolutely.
offense and get the young guys that we're actually going to be counting on ready to play.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. Hopefully, Aaron's got a great relationship with Lafluer,
yeah,
and we can make this thing work going forward. Because yeah, it seems like there's a good energy there, and I think probably with a new coach, a lot of times that's the case. But it seems sincere. It seems like they're really excited about what they've seen so far,
yeah,
and they're really looking forward to what they're going to see next. So that's all positive signs.
yeah, yeah. I agree. A lot of positive signs. And I'm definitely excited. What do you guys think out there? Are you excited about the moves that they've made? Do any of the moves disappoint you? Are there different moves that you wish they would have made? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you get notifications every time I upload new content. Mark, thanks again for being here. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And for the Packer Fan Network, I am Mark Schneider.